In today's episode, we're going behind the scenes of Betallic. I am so excited to introduce you to Andrea and Barry, two employees of Betallic. Actually, Barry's an owner, and they are talking about all things Betallic. So, if you've ever been confused between the difference of SemperTex and Betallic, or what makes their brand stand out, or some of the things in the industry that they are committed to investing in, today's episode is for you. Let's jump right in. Right, welcome. I'm so
Thank you.
excited to be here with Team Betallic.
Thank you.
Let's jump right in. Introductions and your jobs and roles at Betallic.
Okay. My name is Andrea Jungers, and I am the Vice President of Sales for Betallic.
Okay.
And I'm Barry Albrecht, and my family owns Betallic, and my brother Ted and I are the sort of embedded family members in the business.
Yeah. So is this second generation, third generation? How did you find Balloon?
No, so it's a kind of a long story, but my father at one point worked for Enterprise, and Enterprise had a non-automotive group that owned smaller companies,
Okay.
and they bought Betallic. So he ran it for many years, and then he retired. And he's retired for about a year and came to us and said he always loved Betallic. He loved balloons. And he said, "Hey, what do you guys think about, me buying Betallic?" And would run it as a family. Like, I don't know, we got a lot going on. And it was like a month later, he's like, "Hey, I did it. Great news." And so we
And
bought.
when was this?
This was 2007, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
And so we took over Betallic. It was always been his favorite of his businesses because, you're selling joy, you're selling these great moments to people. And then we have another brother who ended up getting hired away by private equity, but he ran Betallic for a period. And then in the last, I think it's been 3 years since Ted and I have sort of parachuted in and been immersed in it. So it's been a ton of fun for us to do it together.
Cool. Well, this is a SemperTex event that we are at, but you're Betallic. Can you explain what the relation is and kind of how that works? Because I know when I was new to balloons, I found I was confused. I was like, which one's which? I don't understand. Are they separate? Are they together? So how does that work?
Well, so we Betallic started as a foil company and needed latex to sell as well. And different variations on what that was. But at one point, I think, I can't remember, someone met Oswald, who was running part of the family that runs SemperTex.
Okay.
At a convention, saw their latex, and we started importing it as Betalitex. So I'm sure some of your
Yes.
of your listeners will remember Betalitex. So as we were importing Betalitex, SemperTex was becoming this sort of global brand, and we kind of became the soda importer who was importing Coke and like relabeling it. It was like, no, that makes no sense. So about 2 years ago, we got rid of Betalitex and rolled out SemperTex. So SemperTex has always been, or in the time period that we've owned it, been our latex supplier. But now we are it's open that it's SemperTex and not Betalitex. So we really have been taking advantage of the fact that we are selling sort of what we feel like is the Coke of latex and letting everybody know it's SemperTex. So it's been a big brand push over the last couple of years.
Cool. And Betallic is US.
Yes.
US.
Okay. And Andrea, why don't you speak to that? Because you obviously have a close connection with SemperTex, and this is a SemperTex event, but Betallic is very much here.
Right. So Betallic has the distribution rights for SemperTex in the United States. So we distribute it to our full line distributors, other distributors. So the latex is in supermarkets, it's in party stores. And then SemperTex has other distributors outside of the United States that take care of their countries. So we are strictly the United States.
Okay. But this is an international convention.
But
it's in the US. So it's
yes.
kind of a group effort.
And we are really aligned. We are a big family between Betallic and SemperTex. So, if they needed help with this, if they wanted to borrow inflators, whatever they needed, we wanted to help make their event in the United States successful.
Yeah. Well, and it has been. This is my first SemperTex or Betallic event, and I'm loving it. And I was telling you earlier, like, I feel like the vibe is very fun and easygoing, but not just amongst attendees, like the team, like you guys. I think you guys seem like you're having a good time, and everyone seems really approachable. Is that kind of the company culture?
Very much so. Very much so. The best part of this is meeting people, interacting with people, learning their story, learning their business. How did they get into this? Like, this is the fun part. This isn't the spreadsheets and the numbers and this is the fun part. This is why we do it.
Yeah. You could tell. I mean, it's always fun when the owners of the companies are out there dancing the night
That's
away.
right.
And yeah, were you dressed as any sort of animal last night?
I wasn't. I was one of the non-animal members of the Betallic team.
I was a giraffe.
It was so fun. It was such a fun party. I loved it.
Oh, it was crazy. Everybody, seriously, we all tried to come off the elevator at the same time, but then we were squished.
Yeah.
3 animals. So we had to do one
Yeah.
at a time. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Quick pause, because if you're running a small business and you feel like your brain is holding open 1,000 tiny tabs, this is for you. One of the biggest shifts that I've made in my business and that I've seen successful decorators make over and over is moving from doing everything manually to having a real system behind the scenes. That's why 17 Hats is our exclusive YouTube sponsor for 2026. 17 Hats puts your inquiries, contracts, invoices, questionnaires, emails, and workflows all in one place, so you're not chasing clients, forgetting follow-ups, or reinventing the wheel every single time someone books. Instead of asking, did I send that and what comes next, your business just works. The best part, it doesn't make your business feel more robotic. It actually frees you up to do things that you are meant to do, like be creative, work with clients, spend time with your family, and all with less stress. If you're ready to stop duct taping systems together and start operating like a real business, head to 17hats.com to check it out. Once you have a system, everything else gets easier. All right, let's jump back in. Well, having the actual balloon products come from overseas,
Mhm.
what has been going on with these tariffs? Like, I don't know. I don't know if any of us know. I'm going to pay what I need to pay to get the balloons for my customer, but I would imagine for you guys, it's been a true nightmare.
I think that's accurate. At one point I was getting on an airplane and there were tariffs instituted on Colombia, and by the time I landed from that flight going to Germany for Toy Fair, the tariffs have been gone.
Oh,
And so
gosh.
the tariffs in and of themselves are obviously problematic for any importer, but I think it's the uncertainty around them that has been the most difficult thing to manage.
Right. And then these never ending extensions, and then will it, won't it? It's confusing.
Right, and I mean, the Supreme Court will be hearing a case of whether they're even allowed to do these kinds of tariffs without congressional approval. So I think business hates uncertainty, and the tariffs have been that's what they've just been is
Mhm.
uncertainty and added costs. So I think our hope would obviously be that they go away, particularly when it comes to SemperTex. We have a trade surplus with Colombia, so it doesn't seem to be a reason to have that going on. So our hope is that they go away, but otherwise, I think, we really are trying to protect our customers as much as possible from them as we move forward, because we really, we really want to keep the industry thriving and really keep our products out there.
Yeah. Yeah. How has the last, I don't know, probably 3 years in particular been? There's just it's been a lot of change, I feel like, specifically with latex. I've been in business now like 10 years, and I would say for the first 7 years it was like nothing changed. It was all, the main players were there, and then all of a sudden there was just all this latex and all this new competition and all that, and I mean, how has that been as business owners?
It's been fun.
Oh, that's a
my
great answer.
I love it. But like I said, this is what I love to do. So new opportunities, developing more product, SemperTex, as we started to increase the amount of volume that we were selling, they built an entirely new factory.
Wow. And everything's in Colombia?
Everything is in
Everything,
Colombia
okay.
for latex, yes. So they built an entirely new factory so that we could, produce more latex, get it out to everybody. And I'm proud to say we're to the point now where our shipping percentages are higher than they've ever been.
Mm.
The amount of warehouse inventory that we're holding to make sure that we don't go back ordered and to make sure the customers have it, it's more than we've ever seen, and it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exciting. Well, and I mean, I guess it's maybe been longer than 3 years, because even back in COVID, it was like first you couldn't get balloons, then there were balloons everywhere, and then you couldn't get them again. And I don't know if you guys were affected by that, but what in that kind of chain is the reason that balloons wouldn't be there, or they would be there, or you're like, we don't know because we don't have that problem?
No, it definitely was a problem. I would say whoever developed the drive-by birthdays with the signs on your car and the balloons was a genius.
Yeah.
And it truly helped our industry. And people realized, okay, if I can't see you, but I can drive past your house with birthday balloons out the window, or get well, or you had a baby, and celebrate you, even though I can't walk up to you, but you can look out the window and see a line of cars with balloons. it just brought so much joy to people in a sad time. And I think it opened people's eyes to what else can you do with balloons.
Yeah.
If you're a little crafty and you're, think you can handle something, and then you're watching these videos online and you're like, I can do this.
Yeah.
So it opened a lot of people's eyes to I'm more creative than I ever thought I was.
Hmm. Yeah. I remember I still had a full-time job
Hmm.
and balloons were kind of my side thing. So I remember just being like, well, uh, I guess I'm kind of done with the balloons and I'm just sort of furloughed from my job and like, whatever, I'll be fine. And I had no idea that balloons would take off. Like, I think COVID is what launched me into full-time
Hmm.
status because people were seeing them. They were out and they were seeing them and it was an exciting time. But as a marketing person, I'm assuming you might have more insight than we do.
Hmm.
Is that influx of new people, has that leveled out, do you think? Or do you think a lot of those new people are still in business and thriving?
I think a lot of them are still in business and thriving.
Yeah,
I really do.
that's great. I mean, I feel like there's a new company popping up every day. Not as great as a balloon person to see all that competition, but yeah, it seems like the more people see balloons and,
Mhm.
the
Well,
more
and as they started doing it, they started to see how fun it was. They started to build their community. They
Mhm.
started to build a network of friends. Then they started to invest in themselves and their businesses by coming to these events and really broadening, their capabilities of what they can do with balloons.
Yeah.
So I think that has changed. I think as we continue to increase and get busier, we're trying to figure out what we can do to give back to the balloon community to build that community setting. So I don't know if you're aware of the Betallic Balloon Club. Are you aware of it?
Briefly, but please
Briefly.
give
Okay.
us the spiel.
So we launched the Betallic Balloon Club at Balloonathon this year,
Okay.
and what it is it's basically an online balloon community. It's a forum for the balloon community. So you go on, you can it's a monthly subscription. You can post about your successes. You can go on there and ask questions if you have challenges. Barry pops in from time to time. I do. SemperTex does. We do live monthly hangouts. Like we're trying to make it that if you maybe are lost in your balloon journey, or maybe you feel like you've plateaued, join us at the balloon, on the balloon club and let's talk through it. Let's help you figure out new ways. Or you can talk with another balloon artist that's maybe in another state and say, these are my challenges. What are your challenges? And everybody help each other to grow,
Yeah.
to grow the entire industry.
I love that. I mean, I feel like a lot of us are pretty isolated.
Mhm.
Like, we're self-employed, we have no coworkers, or we're the boss, so we're not really like part of the team. It's just it can be very lonely to work for yourself. So I love any connection. Speaking of which, events like this,
Mhm.
um, can we talk about Balloonathon?
Yes.
Uh,
Sure.
I had a lot of FOMO. I was not at Balloonathon, and I just kept hearing Lily. I just kept hearing, and it got better and better. And like, I don't know if you hit the peak at New Jersey, but I just have a lot of friends there. But everyone was talking about this Balloonathon stop and how incredible it was. What was your goal for those events?
So I think the goal in general is for the more people who are really good at balloon decoration, who are really serious about it, the stronger the industry is, and the stronger business will be for us. Now, what I had no part in planning the Balloonathon because we employ experts in this who know everything about it and spend time with decorators. So the idea was if we did it, it would be bad. If you did it, it would be very good. And what I was struck by on the Balloonathons in terms of their purpose for the event was you would show up and our great instructors would have built this unbelievable opening setting of balloon decor all over the place. And, balloon decorators, professional balloon decorators walk in and go, oh, wow, I can't believe it. And then over the course of that event, you learn techniques. And that final night, you're in the same room you started in, but everything in that room was built by the attendees.
Oh,
And
that's
so
really
now
cool.
they're in awe of their own stuff. So that empowerment kind of journey from start to finish, I thought was just such a
Mhm.
magical idea from our team. And I think that's why people walk out of it feeling so positive about it. It's certainly fun and everything else. But at the end of the day, it really is. You leave that feeling like you are better than you were in your craft than when you arrived.
That's really neat. That's very cool. And I mean, I had so many friends attend who appreciated the brand's transparency and just again connecting with real people. I think our industry is small enough that it really does make a difference when you're like, that's the owner of the company, like, and
Yeah.
he's at this thing with us. Like, I think that's really impactful, and it felt very cool. Will it be coming back?
Well,
TBD.
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 Okay, I gotta
Well,
put it on my calendar if
Yes,
it does.
yes.
and it's it's like our teams work very well together with SemperTex,
Yep.
and the IBC here is a perfect example. I mean, this is a fabulous event
Mm-hmm.
that I think if you took a balloonathon and an IBC, you're going to see a lot of overlap, which I
Mhm.
think is representative of how well
We
the
work
two
together.
companies work
Mhm.
together, what our shared value system is, and what we want people to get out of it. So I think right now this was a huge year for us in terms of there's going to be a balloonathon and an IBC.
Yeah.
I think if we're being totally candid, I think what we're most looking forward to is kind of taking a breath after this and then sort of reassessing and then talking with SemperTex about what makes the most sense.
Yeah, it certainly feels like there's been a lot of in-person events this year. I mean, there's been a ton. I wonder if that's almost like whiplash from everything being online for so long, and now people just crave that
I
in-person.
see. It's the roller coaster of as soon as people started doing online, it was like, great, I don't have to leave my couch. I can do it, I can do it anytime.
Yeah.
I don't have to take off work to go to a class. And everybody seemed to love that for a while. And then we took another dip on the roller coaster. Now everybody wants to be back in person. And I think people missed the interaction. Like, yes, you can learn by yourself, but it's so much more fun to learn when your buddies are with you, and your best friends, and you make a trip out of this, or maybe you only see those people at conventions.
Yeah.
So this is it's your reunion, you're furthering your education, you're having a great time, so I think for a lot of people it's just more about the being together part.
Yeah. I always feel so guilty. My husband goes on his work trips and like they're horribly boring and they're in a horribly boring place. And then I'm like, I also have to go to a work trip and it's in Florida and it's with my friends and it's balloons. Like I feel guilty, but yeah, I've learned so much this week. Well, what is coming up for Betallic? Any new things you're rolling out or plans or things you're working on?
Well, if we did have new things rolling out, we wouldn't say them here.
Well, this is the place to say them.
No, I think for us, I think it's just more. I think we found some things that we really like that really work for us. I think what we want more than anything is for people to understand with SemperTex as far as latex that it's really really hard to make a good latex balloon, and this is the best latex balloon on the planet because of years of experience and how much they put into it, and it's the kind of balloon that people can build their business on. So for me, that's what I'm always looking for. It's like I just want everybody who's serious about this industry to learn everything they can about Betallic and SemperTex, and that they can trust those brands to really build their business.
I would agree.
Great. Well, thank you
Okay.
so much for
Thank you
taking
for
the
having
time.
us.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your
Yes.
convention. I'm
Yes.
having a great time, and thanks for sitting down.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.